19 young lives lost, hundreds lying injured, a prime minister forced to resign, a country locked under curfew. And the spark is social media ban. But behind this ban lies a deeper truth: years of corruption, privilege, and inequality. What you are about to hear is not just Nepal's story, it is a story every democracy must pay attention to, and especially India. We at the Unmasked Indian are here to unmask the truth. This is part 1 of our Nepal series, where we break down exactly how a ban turned into bloodshed and why this should concern every single one of us. Let's see. For years, Nepal has been a country where corruption is not just a rumor, it is a part of their lifestyle. From birth certificates to death certificates, every single document comes with a bribe here. From police stations to parliament, corruption is the daily language. But what made it worse? The people in power flaunting it. Their children, known locally as Nepo kids, uploaded Instagram reels of imported cars, foreign trips, and wild parties. They lived in palaces funded by taxpayers. Meanwhile, the youth, the real backbone of the country, struggled. Youth unemployment crossed 20%. Graduates had no jobs. Many left for the Gulf countries, Malaysia, or India just to survive. The contrast was unbearable. Online, the anger exploded. Hashtags like Nepal baby, Nepo kid, Nepal's Nepo kid went viral. It began with jokes, memes, funny videos, but when jokes turned into awarenesses and awarenesses turned into rage, the powerful felt threatened. The social media ban, or a desperate attempt to silence. On September 4th, 2025, the government dropped a bombshell: 26 social media platforms banned overnight. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, WhatsApp, Twitter, TikTok, etc. was gone. The government's excuse: these platforms didn't register under new laws. They blamed misinformation, fake IDs, or hate speech. But the youth of Nepal knew the truth. This wasn't about safety. This was about silencing criticism. This was about hiding the looting, the privilege, the corruption. As one lawmaker admitted, this directly hits the fundamental rights of the public. It is not wrong to regulate social media, but a sudden closure like this is so much controlling. Controlling, that one word defined it. The ban was not regulation, it was censorship, and censorship only poured oil into the fire. The youth answered this ban with defiance. Thousands of students hit the streets. Their chants shook Madu and banned social media, shut down corruption, not social media. Youth against corruption. These were not rioters, these were students, teenagers, future doctors, engineers, teachers, and though many in school uniforms. Protester Narayan Acharya stood before Parliament and shouted, "We are here to protest because our youths and friends are getting killed. We are here to see that justice is done and the present regime is ousted." And a 27-year-old engineer said what the whole generation felt: "We need to kick these old leaders out of power. We are tired of the same old faces repeating. The government is on a power trip. There is rampant corruption and no one is accountable." But the state responded with bullets. At first, water cannons, then tear gas, then rubber bullets, and finally, live fire. By the third day, streets were red, 19 dead, over 300 injured. Curfews enforced, army deployed, airports shut, cities burning. The government thought it could control the youth by shutting down their apps. Instead, it unleashed a revolution. The protest shook the very foundations of power. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oil announced his resignation. Several ministers followed. The ban on social media was lifted, but the scars remained. 19 lives, mostly young, gone forever. Prime Minister Oli said, I am deeply saddened by the deaths. The government was not in favor of stopping the use of social media and will ensure an environment for its use. But these words meant nothing. Too late, too late. The damage was already done. This was never about Wi Fi, this was never about apps, this was about dignity and the right to speak. About a generation refusing to be silenced. The lesson is loud and clear. They said, you cannot ban frustration, you cannot uncensor employment, you cannot silence corruption. The more leaders choke their citizens, the louder the scream becomes. And when youth rise, no wall is tall enough, no army is big enough, and no ban is strong enough to stop them. And now, India must ask itself, are we heading down the same road? Unemployment among Indian youth is at record highs. Corruption scandals and favoritism still plague politics. Internet bans are already here from Kashmir to Manipur to Haryana. Journalists face raids, dissenting voices are silenced, critics are labeled as enemies. Do something sound familiar here? Nepal's collapse didn't just happen overnight. It was years of ignoring the young, mocking their struggles, flaunting privilege, and then silencing them. India must wake up before it's too late. Because if leaders here continue down the same path, the eruption will be far bigger than anything Nepal has seen. Nepal's youths raising flags, India's youth protesting, slow fade. Nepal's Gen Z has unmasked its leaders. And we at the Unmasked team believe this story is not just about Nepal, it is about every democracy, including India. This video is just part 1 of our Nepal series. In the coming parts, we will dive deeper into how corruption rooted Nepal from within, how officials looted taxpayer money, how students turned memes into a revolution, and what was the world learned from it. We are committed to bringing you the truth, breaking it down in a way the world can understand. Because only when we expose what is hidden can change begin. We at the Unmasked Indian will always unmask what others try to hide. And remember, this journey does not end here. This is just the beginning. Stay tuned.